I have something to tell you. I gained weight while eating raw. This used to be me after my 90-day juice cleanse. My energy was elevated, and for once, I was genuinely enjoying the skin I was in. I share those radiant, unfiltered, love-filled moments online for the world to witness. It felt like an all-time high, a sense of accomplishment so powerful, it was as if I had defied the odds stacked against me. I was reframing not only my image as a vegan, though in hindsight that label matters far less, but my very sense of self. I was embracing something transformative. And this is me after eating raw. Yes, the love handles, the back fed, I was completely taken aback by where I had arrived. In that moment, I felt like a failure, reluctant to admit that I was, in truth, moving backwards on the very path I had worked so hard to build.
So there's this assumption that if you go raw vegan, weight gain is impossible. People actually think that eating fruits and vegetables exclusively guarantees leanness. But I discovered something different. I actually gained weight while eating raw. And not because I was sneaking in processed foods or abandoning my principles. I was doing it the way most people consider perfect, but the weight still came on. So today I'll be unpacking why that happened, what I've learned, and what I plan to do to rebalance my approach. Because this is not why I went raw.
When I stepped into this lifestyle, my expectations felt so clear, almost absolute. Raw veganism equals health, equals purity, equals lightness, and in the beginning, that belief seemed to prove itself true. The weight fell off almost effortlessly, my energy surged, my skin began to glow in ways I never seen before. I felt vibrant, as though I had tapped into the very source of life. But then, slowly, something shifted. My body began to tell a different story. The weight I thought I had shed for good started to creep back. My digestion wasn't as effortless as it was before. The scale, once a symbol of progress, became a quiet reminder that things weren't as straightforward as I believed. I remember the frustration, almost disbelief, rising within me. How could I be doing everything right? I was eating fruit, juicing daily, aligning myself with nature, yet my body still resisted. That contradiction shook me. It was my first real wake-up call. That health is not one-dimensional, not a simple equation of discipline equals reward. It is layered, nuanced, and deeply personal. And perhaps the hardest truth to face was that even in pursuing purity, I had to confront the complexity of my own humanity. And I did. The first reason of my downfall was calorie density. And this is important. Raw doesn't mean calorie-free. Nuts, seeds, coconut, avocado, they're nutrient dense, but they're also incredibly calorie dense. A handful of cashews contain more calories than an entire plate of watermelon. Yet, because these foods are raw and technically good for you, I treated them as limitless. I would snack, blend, sprinkle, and before I realized it, I was consuming far more fuel than my body could actually burn. The body doesn't care if the excess comes from chips or cashews. It stores it all the same. That was a different truth to accept, but a necessary one. I knew what I needed, and desperately, I longed to return to the root of my original purpose, the very thing that somehow slipped away from me. The thought of coming this far to only turn back, to join the many who walked away after struggling to master something meaningful, felt unbearable. Not me. I couldn't let that be my story. I'm willing to face whatever is required, however uncomfortable, however demanding, to honor the journey I've committed to.
On my raw journey, I had a ton of imbalances. I relied too heavily on certain foods, I cleansed too frequently, and I didn't realize how much those patterns were affecting my metabolism. This is not meant to be a sad story. This is about trial and error, and I'm embracing the journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of the above, because one thing I do not do is gatekeep. And I believe in full transparency, even when it's things and topics that I really truly don't want to cover. But if you want to go raw, these are things you need to know. Calories matter on a raw vegan diet. Don't let anyone tell you different, especially nuts, seeds, avocado, all of the things. You will gain weight. I mean, it's You will gain weight. There's no way around it. Raw does not exempt you from calories. You cannot eat a limitless amount of calories and think because they're raw that it doesn't count. It does. Fully and completely, it counts. And I kept saying that I'm going to get on track. I'm going to get on track. I'm cutting back on, fats. And I never did. I never did. I'm learning not to eat for pleasure because at this point it started off being about, nutrition, health and wellness, and just eating raw. And now I feel like it kind of morphed into like a pleasure based lifestyle. And I don't want my diet to solely be about pleasure. Of course, I want to enjoy the foods that I'm eating, but I also want to make sure that I have a healthy balance between the foods that I'm eating as well. And a lot of my recipes include nuts and seeds, and I need to back off from that. I love avocado. I love cashews. I made cashew sour cream. Oh my God, I can't even tell you how many recipes I made using cashews. It does not matter how you process cashews down, if you ferment them, whatever you do with them. At the end of the day, they're still cashews. They're still fats. That could get the best of you because it got the best of me. But now, since I'm a little overweight, and when I say overweight in a sense of like what I desire and what I believe that would take me to a level of potentially having health issues. And I don't want that. So I am scaling back. I don't want to, you know, um, be unhealthy at the end of the day just to say that I'm raw. I don't want that. I want a healthy balance between all the foods that I eat. And I want to take you on this journey with me because I believe in full transparency, and I believe that it's important to share this ugly side that no one shares about actually gaining weight on a raw vegan diet.
There's a kind of discomfort that runs deeper than just how you look in the mirror. It's the uneasiness of living in a body that doesn't feel like home, a body holding on to weight, the exhaustion, the signals of an unbalanced diet. For me, it isn't just physical. It's emotional. I felt trapped in a version of myself that I didn't fully recognize, and that disconnection cuts deep. Every choice I made with food seemed to echo back in how I carried myself, how I showed up, even how I loved myself. And when the consequences of imbalance started to surface, it wasn't just about digestion or weight gain. It was about the quiet shame, the frustration, the whispers in my head that would ask, "Why can't you get this right?" That's the part most people don't talk about. The heaviness of the emotional toll. Because when you're in that space, it's not just about changing what's on your plate. It's about finding the courage to sit with that discomfort, to face it honestly, and to believe that you're worthy of healing, even in the messy middle of it all. And that's where you'll begin to feel a sense of purpose in it.
Someone must have broken my heart, like really torn it apart in another life, in another life. Someone must have really picked me up, like caused my heart to stop in another life.
Okay, so here's my challenge. Typically, I know some people go into a temporary state of depression when they're dealing with weight gain and all of these other things, but that's not me. When I go through, challenges with my weight, it does not bother me because I know how to put in the work. I have the discipline for it. I know what it takes to get it done and all of that good stuff, right? The challenge this time around, which is causing me to go through an emotional roller coaster because typically when you want to lose weight fast, which is something that I always, desire to do when I get into this mode of like, I need to lose weight. Whenever I get in that state of mind, I want to lose the weight quickly and I know how to do it quickly, which means either water fasting, juice fasting, cutting my calories extremely low over a long period of time. Because when I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to lose I don't need to lose much. Let me just say that because I don't want to give off this impression that I gain a ton of weight. I think I'm maybe at the most, maybe 15 pounds heavier than I would like to be. So losing 15 pounds is in and of itself is not that difficult, right? My problem is I try to lose it within 3 to 4 weeks, which is not healthy whatsoever, right? So
I'm trying to not continue this state of like cleansing and always trying to cleanse to like lose weight quickly. It's not good for your metabolism. And I feel like that's a part of the reason why I'm even in this situation, because of things like this, like cleansing frequently, throwing my metabolism off, like it's slowing my metabolism down. But even with, it affecting my metabolism, cleansing will allow you to lose weight quickly, regardless. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to do it the healthy way, and doing it the healthy way requires a different level of discipline. And discipline I have never challenged myself to have, which is to lose the weight slowly but surely. And a raw diet in and of itself would do that, right? But I can't just cut my calories like down to 500, because that's something I would do. I'm not gonna lie. I would do that. If I'm trying to lose weight quickly, that's what I'm doing. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys, because, it's all about transparency. And that's what I'm giving you. And I don't encourage people to do this either, unless you're like extremely overweight and you're really trying to lose weight quickly because it's affecting your overall health. And I get that. But that's not me. And I need to stop embarking on these cleansing journeys, because it's really not healthy to cleanse as much as, I've been doing over the past 2 years. Cutting calories extremely low is just not the thing to do. Maintenance, staying in maintenance or slightly below in a calorie deficit, a caloric deficit, then yeah. But to cut my calories so low and then continue to work out with it, it's just not the vibe. So bear with me on this journey, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be extremely tough for me. Another thing that I'm focused on is the amount of fruit I'm consuming as well. Nothing wrong with fruit, but I just feel like I consume entirely too much. I drink a gallon of juice per day, on top of like eating fruit bowls and all of that good stuff. So what my plan is to continue to eat fruit, but certain kinds of fruit. So instead of like loading up on papaya, mango, apples, oranges, muscadine grapes, like all of these things that are high in sugar, which is fine, but it's like I could feel the difference. And like it's very difficult, because I think I need to lean more into like my cucumbers, also, juicing more celery, because that naturally gives you sodium. So it's like a lot of other things that I'm not fully incorporating in my diet that has a ton of health benefits. And that's the point that I'm making when I say I need to focus on nutrition, because nutrition is very important. It really kind of centers you while you're on this raw journey. And I want to be centered. I want to fully, immerse in this lifestyle. And for me to do that, I really have to sit back and like do some more research, and not necessarily research in a sense of like learning about the lifestyle all over again, because I've done that, but really just like do some research on how to properly put together a meal plan that actually works for me. So I shouldn't even say research, but basically just like kind of like sit down and go through my thoughts and really think about the nutrients that I need as far as my amino acids and all of those good things. And just really kind of tailor my diet around nutrition. And it was like that at one point, but that was back when I was a beginner, and I'm no longer a beginner. So it's a lot of things, of course, that I left out then. So I need to revisit that and actually incorporate other foods in my diet, but not just that, because for the most part, it's a lot of things that are incorporated in my diet. However, it's the balance part. So it's really about stepping back and, really focusing on balance. And that's my overall goal right now. So, I mean, so far, so good. I have been doing a lot of research. I have been investing a lot of time and energy in doing so. And I will continue to do that. And I'm almost done with the meal plan that I'm actually working on. So, and it will not be the same for every freaking meal. So I just want to throw that out there. It will not be the same. And I will probably go through about maybe
I don't know, maybe 6 different recipes and kind of play with that for a little while and see how that works out and see how I feel. Because what's more important to me, more than anything is being able to perform as well. And of course, I have no problem performing in the gym and that's what I mean by performing, just FYI on that. But yeah, so I want to be able to continue to perform in the gym because what you eat matters. Like, it plays a major role in reference to your performance in the gym and just fitness overall. And since I'm a runner now and I have a 5K coming up and I'm like just really running every single day, I need sugar. I need fruit sugar. So it's really about finding that balance and just making sure that I'm getting the foods that I need on the days that I work out and on the days that I don't work out. So, it's a journey, but I am willing to invest the time and energy because this is extremely important to me. And I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking like, oh, why is she even still on this, raw vegan diet? Like, why even continue on this journey if you're having, different challenges? But I think that applies to any type of dietary change. Like, you should be studying and researching and trying to figure out how to perfect this diet to where you get like optimal results from it. And if you're not doing that, then you're doing something wrong. I'm all for digging deep, and I will continue to dig deep, and I will continue to share some of the things that I learned because this lifestyle is important to me. It's not just about, I just want to be raw and I think this is just the healthiest way. I do think this is the healthiest way, don't get me wrong. But if I ever come to a point where I feel like, this isn't healthy for me, trust and believe I will step back. I am not there. This is an educational error. And I don't want to even say educational error because I knew better. I just did not care, And now that I do, and now that I'm seeing like how you can still go left on a raw diet, I'm now focused on doing better. Let me let you in on a little secret. Raw veganism isn't a shortcut to perfection. It's a tool. And like any tool, it has to be used wisely. My hope is that by sharing my experience, you'll see that gaining weight as a raw vegan isn't failure, but feedback.